You got to have all the tools to do the job, of course.
Which is what? What are all the
So
tools?
you want to have your computer is going to.
But you won't take that on the inspection necessarily, or would you?
It's an option.
Okay.
It's an option. Like I said,
Have it in the car.
the technology we have nowadays available. You can actually do an inspection with a tablet through the software, depending on the software that you're using. But you can go in and really, if you have the capability, the newer products, they have the capability of you just take a picture of the room and it does the measurements for that wall, for this wall, for this wall, and this wall. You're just taking a picture of it based on the software. In the laptops, I've heard, what brand do I need, or what kind of laptop do I need, and it's just a personal preference. I've heard that Acers are good, Lenovo's seem to work well. If you have a Mac, folks use the MacBook. If you do, and you're running Xactimate, you have to partition it to be able to run that particular software from the estimating standpoint. If I'm kind of old fashioned and trying to get into the technology side, I like a good old tape measure, but you can have the laser measures as well, moisture meters. If you're working that, depending on what's going on with the claim, you want to have that as well. They call it. They have a even if you want to get really. I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but you have like a tool belt. You can have all your tools on, so you're not, or a book bag. Have everything with you. Be organized. Somewhat organized. Look like you know what you're doing at least, and be prepared for that before you go out there and say, I need this or whatever. If you find that you need something, make a note of it so you go get it before the next one that you go on. So
I think that I recall using my iPad, and it was very difficult. It was bulky, but that's what I used to take photos because of the way that we were doing our first reporting when we were doing flood inspections. I stayed away from the laser tape for a long time, but then I would measure the room, or I would use the laser tape, and then say it can't be right, and measure the room, and it was accurate. So I got to the point where I do trust the laser, but I'll still have my regular tape. I'll still have my 100-foot tape if I get a really large building. I always had a big, bulky camera because I like really good photos. I've never used, after I took the initial photos on my iPad, then I would use a large camera, download those photos. It was a process. I had a camera that was always here banging back and forth, the iPad that's tucked under here, my notepad here, which when you're on a hot day, then you're sweating and it's getting full of the ink's running. So
you gotta use that invisible ink.
But that's what I use, and I was just curious. From time to time, I would bring my laptop and try to at least work part of the claim before I went to the next claim for the inspection, and just stay ahead. I always had extra batteries. In the days with 35 millimeter, I always had extra 35 millimeter. Now you can probably use your phone.
Yeah, you can use your phone. Of course, you said the tablets, laptops. Again, with the software, a lot of that is allowing you to really accept the claim when you get on site or before site, and then do the inspection and write the estimate there on site.
So it's kind of necessary. Kind of necessary.
Lots of opportunity and lots of options there, whichever you prefer. But kind of sound like me. I would always double check myself with the tape and then the electronic piece just to make sure it don't seem actually is. Yeah. Yeah. But you want to make sure it's charged all the time, like you said. Keep your batteries in there. But if not, fully charged, get a device that you don't have to have the most powerful device. Something in the mid range as far as processors go, and you want to have the memory, but you want to stay charged. You don't want to run out of power in the middle of doing inspection. That's just as important, if not more important, than the performance.
It seems like you would need a very large memory and fast processing, so you wouldn't want to use a computer from 10 years ago. You would want to get a good, decent, maybe even talk to the IT team,
right,
and ask them, what do I need?